Hey guys, welcome to the Magpie Ranch Paintball channel, and today I'm going to be doing a how-to video. But before I get into it guys, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, share, and comment. Obviously at the end, after you're done watching, okay? Guys, today's how-to video, it's been a long time coming, but I've made the decision, as I told you guys in a previous recent video, that I'm switching to compressed air for the TiPX pistol. And the reason for that, obviously, is because, guys, go check out that video, where I did the zeroing of the TiPX, and then also the, the accuracy test with a rifle barrel versus a non-rifle barrel on the TiPX. And in those videos, the CO2 cartridges that, you use with just a stock TiPX pistol, it was just so inconsistent. Now, don't get me wrong, the rifle barrel definitely increased the performance, the accuracy, and the precision of the TiPX marker, but the inconsistency of the CO2 cartridges made the performance, the results, not as good as they could be. And then also, I get it, I think it was Octowatt, so thank you for your comments, Octowatt, and your suggestions, I want to prove not only him or whoever that viewer is, but also to all you guys out there that the rifle barrel does increase the accuracy of the first strike rounds. You guys have seen it with the rifle markers that we make versus non-rifle barrels, and I'm telling you guys that it did the same thing with the TiPX marker. So I wanted to get that kind of just out of the way, make sure that those results were as accurate as possible. Okay guys, so I have everything right here to do this conversion for you guys, so I'm going to walk you through it step by step. And before I do that though, I'm going to bring the camera in closer and then kind of show you guys up close on how to do this swap. Okay guys, so first step, go check out my video on how to disassemble and reassemble the TiPX marker. I have already done that here to save time, okay? So you'll notice that I have the two halves separated. I have all the interior, inside components of the marker just set inside the right side of the frame, and I have the left side of the frame by itself. The reason for that, guys, is obviously the first step that we're gonna have to do to accept the remote line adapter for the compressed air that we're going to be installing. We have to drill out the plug that Tipman made on the receiver of the TiPX marker. Looks like, it's almost kind of like they planned that they knew they were going to potentially run a remote line adapter, and so they made a provision for it. And of course they had to plug up the hole for that, okay? So this is the left side, so it's like a car, right guys? If you're behind the marker, your left side would be the left side of the receiver, and then of course your right side will be the right side of the receiver. So this is the left side of the receiver. The drill bit that you're going to need to drill the hole for that plug is going to be a 5/16 drill bit. And so I have that here, guys, on my cordless drill. And so that's going to be the first step that we're going to be doing, is drilling out that plug. And you'll notice on the plug as well, too, you'll notice that there's a little centering hole that Tipman, pretty much made with that plug already. So that will line up your drill bit automatically. So it's almost kind of like a center punch hole, okay, for the plug. So let's start with that, guys. I'm going to drill this hole out for you guys now. Just take your time. Obviously, you don't want to damage the receiver body. Bam. Okay, guys, it was pretty much that easy. Just a little bit of drilling, and bam, it just went completely through. We can just run it a few passes just to make sure it's completely clean. Okay. Tap out. Okay. I'll clean up these shavings later, guys, but obviously just make sure you're doing it in a clean area. And then of course, if you guys want to, you can always kind of just test fit our remote adapter into the back here, just to see if it'll fit through. And from the looks of it, I need to drill a little bit more, guys. So let's just run the drill bit a little bit more through so that way we completely clear it. All right, there you go. It's not a tight fit, it's pretty much a perfect fit. So I'm not going to drill anymore. Now, the next step before we put the halves back together and install the remote adapter to the back of the regulator valve assembly, we want to install our Vulcan Pro Connect 3 fitting, okay? I really like these Pro Connect 3 fittings because, one, they're proprietary, yes, but also because they allow the adapter, the hose, to pretty much disconnect and reconnect whenever you want to. So real quick, a lot of problems with the remote line adapter is that if you just have your standard airline fitting on it, you'll have to turn the air source on and off to disconnect the line. And it's really hard to do because obviously it's under pressure. And then the other thing too is obviously it just wears a lot on any type of rotating assembly, right? Whether that's the on and off switch, valve on your air tank, or just in general, like I said, it's like an air tank that's pressurized. It's hard to unscrew from the marker, okay? So I really like this because it allows you kind of to disconnect the air source from the marker easily, okay? So what we're gonna need to do obviously is just thread the Pro Connect 3 adapter onto the back of the remote line adapter. But before we do that, we wanna apply some plumber's tape. Now, you can use plumber's paste as well, but I like plumber's tape. It works really well. It's cheap, it's easy to use. The only tip I want to tell you guys though is when you apply it to the threads of the adapter, just make sure that it's going in the right direction, okay? For example, if you have it in the wrong direction, you'll see that you can apply the tape in either, this direction, right? With it going around the thing this way, or you can apply the tape this way, okay? Now, what you want to be mindful for is that the end of the tape, what direction is it pointing? Because if it's pointing, for example, if I had left the tape pointing in this direction, okay, just to show you guys, when I go to screw it onto the remote line adapter, you'll see that it's going against the threads. And so in essence, it's going to unravel the tape, okay? So what you want to do is instead go with the threads, right? So it's going to be this direction as you see here. Okay? I'm not going to worry too much about the shreds at the end because once I obviously roll this up, it's going to cover all that stuff. It's going to cover all the loose plumber's tape up, okay guys? Okay, so just like I said, just make sure you're applying it in the right direction. Honestly, you don't have to use this much too. You could definitely have used a shorter piece. I'm kind of a stickler for neatness, so I'm trying to take my time with this, but as long as, in essence, as long as you have some type of tape or paste sealing the threads, no air is going to escape, So you don't got to try to make it super clean, but like I said, I kind of am a stickler for that. So, okay, so you'll notice that it's going in that direction. And so now when I go to put it on the adapter, you'll notice that the tape is not unraveling because it's going with the threads. Okay? Perfect. The wrench size that you'll need for the adapter and for the Pro Connector 3 is the 1/2 inch wrench for the remote line adapter. I'm just using a adjustable wrench for that. And then a 7/16 wrench for the Pro Connect 3 adapter. Okay, so we're gonna go and tighten those two together now. And guys, you don't have to over tighten it, right? Just make sure it's cinched and tight so it won't come loose. That's good enough. And then as long as I said, like I told you guys, as long as the tape is there, it's not gonna leak. Okay, the other thing to note is that you'll notice that there's an O-ring at the end of the remote line adapter. That's going to obviously seal it in the back of the regulator valve assembly. To remove that plug that the remote line adapter is going to go into, you're going to need a 1/8 inch Allen wrench key. And that just comes right out. Okay, and you'll notice that this plug has an O-ring as well to seal the air. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Now at this point, with that plug exposed and with the hole drilled on the left side of the receiver, we can go now and install the halves of our marker. Okay, bam, bam. Let's put all the screws back in. All right, guys. So now that the pretty much the marker is back together, we just need to lubricate this O-ring before we go to install it in the back of the regulator valve assembly. Just a little bit of that oil is all we need, and then we're going to insert it into the back of the TiPX marker going into the regulator valve assembly, and then we're just gonna start it by hand, guys, obviously, so that way it prevents any cross threading. And then finally we're gonna use our 1/2 inch or of course our adjustable wrench and to tighten it down. Okay, and once again, guys, we don't have to over tighten it. It's sealed by an O-ring already. It's just enough to get it seated. Okay, that's pretty much it, guys. But now the test, right? The final test is obviously we're gonna have to air it up, make sure nothing is leaking. And then from there, after that, of course, then we can actually go out in the field, go onto our range, and then test the marker, okay? So right now I have an air tank here. It's a 4,500 PSI, you know, I think it's a 48 cubic inch tank. But anyways, I got the Pro Connect 3 quick disconnect fitting on the end of that. Since it's not currently aired up, this is going to connect really easy. Bam, it just snaps in like that. You guys will notice that to release it, you just have to push the button and then it releases, which makes it super easy. Okay, and then we're gonna go to air up this thing by just turning the on valve, guys, and then we're gonna check and see if this thing is going to hold air, okay? And that's pretty much it, guys. You know, pretty straightforward, simple install. I think it's gonna work wonders for the marker, making it more consistent. Definitely that's gonna increase the accuracy and the precision as well. So hey guys, if you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and I'll check you guys on the next one. Peace.